Hey y'all, how are you? I hope you're blessed. I am back with a word. I want to come though and first say thank you guys for supporting me. If you have already, please follow me, support my videos. Thank you for all the monetary support that I receive. There are truly some angels out here, and I appreciate everybody helping me through my journey um, and of me becoming an author and a coach and all that stuff. If you haven't already, please uh, support me by grabbing my book. The I did write a book. It is called Worth the Wait, and it is a book about my kingdom spouse journey and healing and going through just a beautiful process of getting closer to Christ and walking in purpose and all the things. And so please grab this book. It is available on my link tree in my bio. So let me get into this word real quick because I've been meditating on this one since yesterday. And thank you, God, for allowing me to release this word. So this is going to be from Matthew 25. Matthew 25, and I'm reading from the NIV version. It says, it's the parable of the 10 virgins. And it says, at that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom. Come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Lord, Lord," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore keep watch, because you don't know the day or the hour." And so I wanted to break that down because that is truly the epitome of what this journey is. So, and I wrote it in my book as well. It takes a crushing and pruning and refining to make oil, to produce oil, right? So there are some times where people are on this journey and they want to have access to their spouse, or they want to get to the promise, but they don't want to go through the crushing process. And in that, right, if you don't go through the crushing process, you won't have enough oil. And so essentially, what is happening here in Matthew 25, which is the same with you as well. You have to go through this process in order to be like the wise virgins who had enough oil to produce the light. Okay. the virgins who are foolish will be like counterfeits, right? And they won't have enough oil to produce and carry a light because they did not do the process. Okay. And so that is when people find themselves in counterfeit situations. Doesn't mean that it's just a counterfeit person, and it could be, but it could just be a counterfeit situation all the way around. So, what is oil, right? What is oil that carries a light? Well, as wives, and this is what I teach and I coach wives who are unmarried, who are in preparation, or even wives who are in separation as well, to because sometimes we skip ahead and we have to go backwards, right? And because we serve a gracious God, He allows us to still get our promise, or still get our still allow us to get back our spouse or things like that. But you just have to take the time to sit with Him and produce your own oil and produce enough, right? And so when you have sat down with the Father to produce oil, what does that look like? Well, that looks like going through the process of healing and breaking down barriers of trauma, right? Learning how to be patient, learning how to let go of control, controlling your tongue, right? Learning how to speak with confidence, but also to build your spouse up with your words. Learning how to essentially become his helper when it comes to the way of a wife, right? Because Proverbs 18:22 says, "He that finds a wife." So that means that you are a wife already when your kingdom spouse or when your husband finds you, right? And so that means that you have done the necessary preparation, or you have brought enough oil with you so when the bridegroom does come, like for instance, when the bridegroom arrived, even though it was slow in coming, because Lord knows this process and this journey can be long, you will have enough oil to produce, to keep the light of the world going, because your marriage or your union is meant to produce the light of the world or glorify Christ. And so that is the reason why the foolish virgins were looking to the ones who had been preparing for oil, and they're like, no, you gotta go get your own. Because if you think about it, if you're going through the process of breaking and healing and refining, you ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? Just give away your hard work and all your preparation, right? And so when the bridegroom came, the virgins who were ready were able to have access to him in the wedding banquet, or you're able to then become a bride, right? Because you're a wife already. You've done the preparation, you've done the healing, and your husband can then now recognize you, and he can remove that veil is removed, and he can now see you, and now you can be a bride, right? Because you'll become his bride. But the ones who didn't do the work, okay, while they out trying to be counterfeit and access their, their kingdom spouse or the kingdom in a counterfeit way, the door is going to be shut on you regardless, because you're not going through the process. In Matthew 25, it says, verse 12, but he replied, truly, I tell you, I don't know you. So if you haven't sat with Christ and you haven't surrendered and allow him to crush you and break you and prune you, he's not going to know you, because you have not allowed yourself to know him. So I hope this helps. I'm going to come back and make another video. I love y'all. Thank you for your support. Peace.